Hey, welcome back, guys. We're breaking up the train video into two parts because I got so much to cover. And in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to do a showcase of the Molotow markers only. But there's so much great stuff we can do with them. So we got some GRAFX markers, and I wanted to showcase these guys for one particular reason. Is a lot of people don't really know about this marker. They don't sell as much as the others, and it's a real shame because I think they just weren't sold correctly. I don't think people knew what they were. These are not one for all. These actually are alcohol-based pigmented paint that's inside of them. And really smooth, really easy to write with, and works well with the one for all because sometimes you don't want to smear or cause the other stuff to react. So it's nice to have an alcohol outliner when you're using a water-based paint on a train. So we are going to do both. But in this particular video, I just want to use these just so you can see how they work, and also because I want you to show you a few things about the nibs that you can get for them as well too. Also, one more thing. A customer had mentioned that they had wanted to try out these nibs and if they worked on the one for all markers, and absolutely they do. They actually work on the same barrel as the 200 series. So this is a Signal Black with the brush tip right on there, pumped up, ready to go. As you can see, it works just fine. Pretty cool, right? So anyways, yeah, so if you want to run one for all through the brush tip, completely doable. Probably won't use it in this video, but we'll do it in the next one when we do the mini subway. So definitely be on the peep out for that. Should be up tomorrow, and maybe we can go take Roller Girl to the graffiti wall, teach her how to paint. This video, we're going to be featuring the Molotow GRAFX markers. These are my favorite fine liner pens when you need to do like autographing or just doing detail work with a marker that needs a solid permanent line. What's really dope about these is they look like the one for alls. They're not. It's a different formula. It's alcohol based, and initially when we first got them in, they came with these 1mm nibs, and I fell in love with the marker. This was the illest marker ever. They're really good for outlining because the alcohol doesn't react with the one for all formula, and you can get really clean lines with it, or with a lot of other products in general. What's really great about the 1mm nib is they work great on HO scale trains. So if you're doing that small detail work, this will be your outliner. Like pretend like if you're spray painting, this is your thin tip, and then this will be like your fat cap with the 1.5. So why the change on the nibs? The reason why, frankly, is that Molotow had, I think, probably too many complaints, honestly, because these 1mm nibs, they do have a tendency to dry out quicker if you don't take care of them. If you do get a pretty decent life out of them, and that's kind of the thing, is they don't really tell you how to do that. With the one for alls, what they recommend that you do, I mean, they tell you, but it's not very prominent in their literature, you know what I'm saying? Just wanted to clarify that. So what they tell you to do in the Molotow literature, it's deep in there, but what it says is you take a sponge with the one for all and you wipe it off after you're done, and then you cap it, or keep a sponge in the nib, a wet sponge inside the cap, and then it'll keep the nib going. But this is alcohol based, so you can't do that. I mean, you can. What you could do is get a sponge with alcohol and just wipe it off in the alcohol like that too, right? Here's the bottom line. This nib requires a certain amount of care that a lot of people aren't dedicated enough to put into it, and or people who expect something that's impossible. The reason why is, you know, it's got these tiny little capillaries in there. It's just natural that eventually it'll start to clog. But if you want to get very high fine lines, there's really no other way to do it. This is not the same thing. The 1.5, it's noticeably bigger, especially if you're trying to get into the cracks and nooks and stuff. It'll definitely flood out much quicker. So keep that in mind. I carry both of them. I got the 1mm and the 1.5s, and I use them for various different things, and sometimes I dry them out, and you know, sometimes it's my fault, sometimes the nib just clogs, and that's just part of the game. You know, if you want fine lines, or you don't want fine lines. It's simple as that. So on that subject, what I did is I found two I don't have a 1mm right now, but it doesn't matter. The same principle applies, but I got a 4mm and a 1.5mm nib that are completely dried out. I mean, they're not wet at all, see? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bathe them in acetone for 24 hours. And we're gonna see if they maybe clear up a little bit, and after that we'll wash it off with some soap and water, get it all nice fluffy and dried, and you know, snug as a bug, and we'll see if they work again. I don't know if they will, but it's worth a shot, right? And you'll find out. So let's get to the train, right? So this is what the whole video's about. So anyway, so I prepped the train, and what I did is I sprayed it with some matte finish first. You don't have to do it, but I find that the marker sticks to it a little bit better if you do. I think you'll appreciate the finish better. What I used is the Molotow Clear Coat Transparent. It's a clear lacquer, you know, no tone or whatsoever. It's matte finish, so you get a nice little bit of tooth on the material that you're painting on, and allows it to stick better. I do it in 2 steps. I put one wet layer down, let it dry. Then I draw with a pencil, as you can see it in there. I have it sketched out. Sketch out my design with the pencil. Then I clear coat it again. That way it locks the pencil inside of there. That way if I hit a water-based marker on top of it, it doesn't activate the charcoal and make it muddy. You know what I'm saying? That keeps it encapsulated, a fixative if you will. The Molotow Premium is a great one. This can will probably, if all you're doing is this kind of stuff, this can will last you like 10 years. So what else? I guess we'll start filling it in. And also that song that just played is called, I think it's called Aliens Are Smoking Grass. It's from the early 90s, Electro Clash. Right now we're listening to Miss Kittin and the Hacker. The song's called Frank Sinatra. Definitely check it out on the YouTubes. But anyways, let's get cracking. Let's start filling it in. I came here to draw, not jabberjaw. Speaking of jabber, that guy's tight. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm taking the 1mm marker, and hopefully that stays in focus. And I'm just going to go over my pencil outlines. Don't worry if it's not totally clean. You can always come back and fix it. And just go ahead and start laying in your silver or gold or blue or green or whatever color you want to use. You see the color laying out on there? What is she saying in this song? Good Lord. This is the type of music I listened to in the early 2000s. This was what I was really into back then. Isn't that funny? It's like completely degenerate. Love it. This whole music genre was all about clubbing and partying and just not giving a shit about much. Alright, so let's get back to the drawing. Every once in a while these nibs will kind of clog up on you, and that's normal. You might be picking up some dirt or whatever, so what you gotta do is just take it off on another surface, flood the nib a little bit, get the ink flowing, it should write again, no problem. See? No problem, right? Alright, let's go ahead and fill this in. You might have a few little light spots as you're coating it. Don't worry, just let it dry and then come back on the second coat to grab it. We'll do like a flood layer. Alright, so yeah, just go ahead and continue on. Get your outline in. It's going to look a little scratchy because what's going to happen is you're going to bump the nib up against all this stuff on here. And don't really sweat it. This is just the outline layer. Just go ahead and get it laced in, and because what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next nib, which is the 1.5. And like I said, this is going to be our fill-in color. Make sure you shake it up really good. All pigmented markers need to be shaken up really well. So don't forget that, guys. Let me give it a shake. Oh yeah. Shake it up. Doing it. Oh, I don't want to listen to this song. Hold on. Let me move on to... No, I don't want that either. There we go. Let's listen to some Fischerspooner. That'll get me hyped up. Alright, so we got to shake up the marker nicely. Make sure everything's looking good. And we'll start filling this bad boy in. Well shaken. Now I'm just going to prime the nib by actuating it, getting the ink flow going. Perfect, now we're ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, fill it in, like this music. Keep the beat, doing it to it. I feel like I'm a little miniature man doing a Fat Cat fill. Some little miniature guy in a train yard, in a miniature land, with miniature riders, their miniature lives. Do it, baby, do it. Fat Cat fill. The miniature cop's coming. Don't worry if it looks messy, guys. We're just getting it filled in. We're gonna come back with the other stuff and detail it out. I'm just kind of having fun, pretending like I'm filling it in like a fat cat. One thing you want to do on the plastic is don't do like I did. Don't try to drag the nib. Feel me? Kind of let the nib float over the surface. This is really the proper way to fill it right here. See? Just kind of float the nib and go easy. Go a little bit wet on wet. Slightly wet on wet with this one. You should get better coverage. There we go. Yeah, see that? See how the nib just slightly dragged and it splattered? That's okay. I hate these things with a passion. These wooden panel things that are actually on the trains. Even on the models, I hate them. Nib needs a little bit of refreshing, so just go to another surface, prime the nib, go back to work. Anyways, back on those stupid panels. They put like this little paper bill of lading, I think it is, they put on it. Basically, you know, it's important. They need to know what's in there. And, but they're made out of this raw wood, and they're always a bitch to paint over because they stick out so damn far. They're basically my nemesis. Although I do like painting the doors. If you ever want to go paint a train with me, I'll paint the fucking door. I don't care. That's usually like everyone's best friend, the guy that paints the door, because they don't give a shit. And they're like, oh cool, I get the hot spot. I don't care, I just like graffiti. I don't care what people think about what I do, my name. It don't matter. Just paint, do graffiti, shut up. That's right. Alright, so this is the first layers in. Just want to let it dry off a bit. Alright guys, so apparently I didn't have the record button press. So I didn't catch that part of the video, but the nibs are in here. I went ahead and put the 4mm, the 1.5mm, and I actually threw the 1mm in here as well too. We'll pretend like it's a maintenance clean. We'll see how that goes. But these are in the bottle. I don't know if it's a dark bottle, but they're in there. So let's shake it up. And we'll let these sit till tomorrow, and we'll wash it off, and we'll see if they write. Guys, good morning. We're back for the next part of the video. We've had these sitting in the solution overnight. I think we're just going to focus on the 1.5mm that we put in there last night. This will be the easiest to finish the cleaning on. Probably shouldn't handle acetone with your bare fingers, but it is the same material that ladies use to remove their nail polish. So let that be what it is. This one got pretty clean. I'm going to put these ones back in. We're gonna go take this bad boy next door and get it all soapy and clean it off. It looks like there's still some solution in there. Let me see if I can kind of wipe it off. All right, kids, don't try this at home. I think I pushed some liquid through, so maybe there's some hope for this nib after all. All right, so let me go clean this up. We're gonna go wipe this bad boy off and see if it actually writes. All right, dope. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and replace the nib on this Calypso middle Molotow, because what I want to do is outline the piece with that. I think it'll set up nicely with the black. So let's go ahead and drop the Calypso nib into our solution for later, and then we will see if the cleaned nib, now remember this dirty nib had been sitting under my desk dry for months, and it sat in the solution actually less than 24 hours. And then I just washed it off with some soap and water. So we will see if it actually works. Looking at it, it looks like the capillary holes are open. I can actually feel air coming out, so we might have fixed it. Let's find out. Give this bad boy a shake. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna zoom in nice and close to the nib so you can see if it worked or not. All right, let me set up the camera. Ooh, I love this part. Okay, perfect. How is the focus on there? It looks pretty good. All right, now we need a little piece of scrap paper. Scrap, 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 scrap. Now there might still be some water inside the nib, so we'll probably have to excessively flood it. I didn't wait for it to fully dry, but this was a completely clogged nib. And I think I might have just brought it back to life. Bro, 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 bro. Step to this. I just re-cleaned this nib. Can you believe that? So don't throw away your dry nibs. Get yourself some acetone, make some acetone baths. I just had a lisp like nice, I'm talking like Mike Tyson over here. Put yourself in an acetone bath. Anyway, so yeah, so all you have to do is take your dried nibs, dry them out, put in some acetone, clean them off, and you got a nib again. Not too shabby, guys, not too shabby. So we'll let this guy chill, soak up with some more ink, and continue on the drawing. All right, so where did we leave off yesterday? I think we were doing the fill, right? Okay, cool. So let's get our fat cap out. Shake it up really well. Can you guys see? Is it too blurry? Let me catch focus here. There we go. Alright, so let's get this nib nice and primed. And we'll start doing our second layer. Like I said, there are parts where the nib will drag on the first layer. Just because of the nature of the surface is kind of uneven. So just kind of go back over it. Or just spots where you might have missed it. Yeah, that made a big difference, right? Once the second layer goes on, the lights start to come on. And see how I got these cracks here? So what you want to do is like slightly press the nib in a little bit. And you know, just kind of give it a little bit of a push, and it'll kind of flood it a bit. Don't do it too much. Now the Molotow markers don't over flood like the decos do, but it's still possible. So just do like a light push. It'll bring some of the ink out, and you'll be able to cover those uneven spots a little bit better. And I always do this on the second coat, not the first one, because what happens is it pulls up and gets too wet, and it just turns really muddy. So make sure you do this on the second coat. Okay, where's that? That needs to get filled in right there. Yeah, there we go. This is just like painting a real freight train, actually, because you kind of have to go around the cracks like this. So just hold it at an angle, no big deal. You guys got this. Bring it around. flood it a little bit just because the surface is a little bit rough. See how it went over that nicely? Like I said, just push down the nib a little bit and flood it. It takes a little practice, but you can do it. I have faith in you guys. Alright, let's get this part over here. Get it nice and saturated in there. Perfect. Look at that, guys. Coming out beautifully. Ooh, I love this song. This is, this isn't Franz Ferdinand. Yeah, it is. Franz Ferdinand. This is the, I think this is the first Franz Ferdinand album, and probably the only good one. But if you haven't heard it, like, get the whole album. It's one of those albums from the early 2000s where every single song was really good. And you have my approval on that one. Well, you know, they were kind of in that electroclash scene too. Although most of the people who played in electroclash often claim they weren't electroclash. But that's the normal hipster response, to be contrary. Although the new hipster thing is to be earnest. Okay, so the second layer's on. As you can see, it's looks pretty good, right? Nice and clean, evenly filled. You can still see that it says Destroy, my favorite grindcore band. Let's let this dry. In the meantime, let's take a look at some stuff that I have here on the desk, and maybe a little recap of what we've been doing here. Let me turn this down just a tad. Get my hair out of here. Alright, so in this video what we have been doing is utilizing the Molotow GRAFX markers. Just to recap, because I don't know what I filmed yesterday and I was really tired when I did that. So these are the GRAFX markers. They're alcohol based. They're made by Molotow. They are the similar body to the 211s, or 111s, I'm sorry, but they use an alcohol based ink. I think I said that earlier, but you know, it's good to reinforce that. Push the issue, as Adam Carolla says. But I've been very happy with it, and also I wanted to, you know, this video, the whole point was to talk about these nibs, because so many people have so many problems with them, and in reality is all you have to do is just take care of them, you know? It's like a BMW. Yeah, you got to maintain it, but it's still the best, right? Well, Mercedes guys might defer. I'm more of a Beamer guy myself. I got a 5 Series, although I don't drive it because my dog hates it. I'm still driving a 99 RAV4 most of the time because my dog won't ride in the Beamer, and honestly, I don't want her to ride the Beamer. She thrashed my Lexus, man. So, there you go. Speaking of, I need to go back to Germany. I love that country. Alright, so we're going to let this dry. Basically, we got 1mm nibs, 1.5s, all kinds of shit over here. Molotow. They're the best. So let that dry, and in the meantime, I want to talk about some upcoming projects, and the next half of the video, we're going to do a full color burner. Let me zoom back out here. There we go. Alright, so yeah, the next half of the video, we're going to be doing a full color burner on a mini, what are these, all city trains, all city style. We got these in from Molotow. This one has a bit of a texturing, like antiquing on it. And what this blue stuff is the Molotow masking ink. What I'm gonna do is I'm priming these, and I'm gonna draw like the lights, like lit up inside, and then we're gonna put our pieces on top of it. So that'll be pretty tight. If you're interested in these, we got them on the site. And we'll get into more detail on this later, but that's coming up soon too. Another thing I want to do is I got this book from for Christmas one year, and it's really dope. Basically, it covers all vintage aircraft artwork from World War II, whatnot. Pretty tight book, but a lot of the influence, you know, it's, to me, like, this is very graffiti, you know, because what you have is lettering. You got lettering, letter form, character, graphic form. You guys see that? It's very graffiti. But anyways, oh look, my buddy Xanax drew this. I like this guy. I'm gonna color him in on one of my videos just for fun. Anyways, so nose art. A little history about nose art. There were some pretty famous people that did the nose art initially. There's one guy named Brinkman. who's in here, and what he was actually a designer an ad designer back in like the 30s and 40s, and this is some of his sketches right here actually, and he got drafted like everybody did during World War II, and some smart guy in the military is like, hey, why don't you start painting these girls on the planes? And he started doing it, and people liked it, so he did more and more, and then other people wanted to do it, and so all these other artists popped up and started doing it too, and kind of became a thing. But this is some of his original artwork. The first ones he did were based off of the zodiac. So he did like a Sagittarius, an Aries, a Taurus. You know, there was a whole bunch of different ones that he did. But real famous guy, Brinkman, he's like the first dude to do this type of artwork. But a lot of the influence of this type of art comes from the Varga girls. And Alberto Vargas is one of my favorite artists, by the way. And he's from Peru. Back in the 40s, he was really famous for doing these illustrations of beautiful women. You know, I mean, come on. Beautiful, beautiful. But, you know, he was the meme for the young guys back then. So they would use his artwork on their wall, on their, not walls, but essentially their walls. I mean, but you can see the comparison here, right? Exact same artwork on it. This is on a B-17 bomber, which is really cool because these planes were made right across the river from where I'm at. And during World War II, I mean, they're pumping these out by the thousands, man. Rosie the Riveter, you might have heard of her. Wow, look at the font on that one. Sleepy Time Gal, does that show up? It's very bubble letter, right? Pretty interesting. But I think we'll go through this book in a little bit more detail because I want to do a whole series of drawings. I think just for inspiration, we can do a series of drawings based off of this style. You know, look at that wheel and deal. That's so tight. Little pink panties. These guys are awesome. Check out some of the jacket art too. That was another big thing in its time. Maybe we'll do a leather jacket with some Molotow markers. That might be kind of tight. We can do a back jacket like that. Man, if you find one of these jackets in somewhere, these are worth a ton of money. Good luck finding one though. They're very hard to find. But yeah, really cool artwork. Oh, here's the artwork. Brinkman right here. The finished work. There's Libra, there's Leo, there's Cancer. More Varga girls. Check out Snack Time, or Sack Time. Even better than Snack Time. So tight. I kind of want to do something like this. Maybe we should paint that on my car. Some Molotow paint. But anyways, this is if you have a chance to grab this book, I highly recommend doing it. Oh, this is the 5,000th BMW. Keep talking about BMWs. The 5,000, I'll just go on from there. Anyway, so this artwork's pretty tight. You definitely see a lot of similarities to graffiti, to this stuff. Look at that, isn't that sick? Oh my God, look at the nose on this plane. Are you kidding me? Imagine being a German fighter pilot, having this thing coming at you in like 1940. You probably pee your schnitzel. Dude, check out Bugs. Buster, that's so tight. Anyway, so we'll get into this book in a little bit more detail. I might just do a whole review on this book because it's kind of worth it, man. There's so much amazing artwork in here. Like you just don't even know like how amazing the artwork is in here. Yeah, pretty tight. So while those dry, I think this is pretty dry by now. Yeah, it's fairly dry. All right, so let's get to the next step. All right, here comes the outline portion of this. Hopefully I can mind my blocking so I don't get in the way of the filming. But let's just go ahead and start lacing in the outline. Just like that. Oh yeah, baby. So yeah, just trace around the edge and get your outline going there. There we go. There we go. Take your time, don't stress. If you mess up the outline, no worries. You can always go back and go over it. All right, there's the first part of the destroy. Let's do the O. Remember, with these markers, you kind of want to hold them up a little bit, just because that's the way the flow comes out a little bit better. There we go. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the O right there, so we'll just leave that chilling for a minute. Draw this bad boy. Look how tough this is going to be right here. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of dragging the nib just slightly. Don't push down too hard when you go over the bumps, because it will not write. I'll tell you that right now. Don't push too hard. Alright, let's get this bad part. Oh, I love this song. You know what? Let's change our camera angle. Let's do this. I think you're going to get a better shot if I change it. Alright, this should work better. Now that we've changed our perspective, you should be able to see it a little bit better, I hope. One funny thing about perspective, actually, learned a lesson from my photography teacher back in 1994-ish. Little lesson in perspective. Because I was zooming in on a subject and staying in the same relative position to them, and at the time I thought I was taking a different picture, but I wasn't. I was just cropping in the viewfinder. I didn't change my perspective. To change your perspective, you have to physically move your position relative to your subject, not zoom in on them. And a lot of people learning photography do that. And we'll get into photography later. I actually worked as a commercial photographer for quite some time, and a lot of you guys like photography too, so if you guys want to talk about that someday, we can chat about that. I actually used to repair vintage cameras too. I got a huge collection of them. Yeah. See how much easier to see it is what I'm writing now? Because I changed my perspective. It's a good lesson on life too. Perspective just doesn't work in photography. Change your relative space to your subject matter. See if it changes your perspective, your outlook on life. Right? Works both ways. Alright, cool. So let's see here. Groovy. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to run that up there. Okay, we'll fix that with the gold later. I think I changed my mind instantly on that. But that's okay. That's why we're doing this in steps. So now I'm just going to kind of fill in these areas right here. And remember, just lightly drag the nib over the bumpy parts. So that'll keep it from getting too messed up. Alright, cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with the 3D yet, so we won't get too deep into that yet. But let's just go ahead and flood the nib. Oh, I hate this part. No, I kind of like it actually. What am I saying? There we go. Alright, let's let this part dry, and we'll move on to the next step in a hot second. Alright, dope. So I went ahead and finished up the first part of the black outline, and as you can see, it's filled in pretty good, but we need to go back with the gold and just go ahead and finish up the cleanup of the gold, go back with our outer and maybe clean up some of the black again if needed, and then we're going to be done. But this needs to dry. So in the meantime, let's chillax a bit and let's look at some of our sticker trade stuff. Alright, dope. So this is the ArtPrimo sticker trade. Not as big as you thought. Well, actually, we have tons more stickers, but this is let me tell you something about sticker trade, how it works. So basically what you do is you drop some stickers and you know, you send them to us, and make sure you send a self-addressed envelope, and make sure that you know, include some hand-done stickers, maybe some ones that you made. What's this? 14th Street Supply, Oakland. Never heard of that. B. Dank and Mayo. Anyway, so yeah, make your stickers, send them to us, and we'll pull from the pile and give you some of the stickers too. Oh, that's kind of tight. Little hot dog dude. I don't know who made that one, but that's pretty ill. Let's see. What I would recommend too is try to balance it out. Don't just tag a bunch of stuff like this. I mean, this is fine. People like them, but don't send me a big bag of these and then expect me to give you like a full burner that somebody did on their sticker. You know what I mean? That's not fair. So try to put a little bit of effort into them. Oh, look, Toxic Avenger, Mr. Boom. I don't know who that is, but that's chill. Days, old school Days, Days 24. I don't know if that's the real Days or not. Probably not. Maybe it is. Maybe it is the real Days. Boom is cat lady. Okay, it must be a woman. Bien, very good. So yeah, you know, people draw on their stickers. They send us shit. It's fun. You know, look at this guy. He drew a little rabbit dude. Looks like God, what's his name? Wolverine. It's like a Wolverine rabbit, right? That's kind of tight. Oh yeah, look at this guy. Little throwy on the Volkswagen. That's kind of tight. Cheapy, I think it says. Prez one, Trace one. Oh, let's check this one out. Chasm. I don't think this is the real Chasm from Lord's crew. I went to high school with Lord Chasm. He was a cool cat. I remember that dude. What's this? Oh, JS1. This is my homie from Taipei, Taiwan. If you guys ever go to Taiwan, if you want to go to a place that's really dope to do graffiti, go to Taiwan and hit me up, because I'll link you up with this guy and he'll take you around. Hopefully I didn't just commit him to a bunch of shit, but he's a cool dude. You should, you know, graffiti writers like to meet each other, and of course you get some of our stickers in there as well. Let's see what else is in here. Know who? Oh yeah, look at that. That's kind of an abstract kind of thing. Very Keith Haring, right? A little bit on the Keith Haring tip. I kind of like that. Let's see what else is in here. See the. Oh, these are tight. Know who? The same guy. That's pretty. Oh, look. The most hated, Jesus Saves. I love that dude. This guy crushes. He crushes. Never forget 420. This guy Denial brought us a bunch of stickers. I think he's doing a show actually over at Trees and Gallery in Seattle. Trees and Gallery is a new hot gallery. The owner, he seems pretty hyped to get artists up here to do stuff, so expect to see more stuff from them. Trees and Gallery, look them up on YouTube or Google or wherever the heck they're at. Instagram, I don't even know these days. Lots of postal stickers, right? Still very popular. Postal service should just sell these things. Oh, look at these little guys. Aliens, How USA, 1997, Little Kid and a Dream. I don't even know what that means, but that's cool. Ooh, I like this one. Some weird coyote, I guess. Yeep. I'm really liking how people have stepped up their sticker game with the stamping and the silk screening lately. This is really cool, guys. Thanks for sending these to us. Days 24, looks like silk screened. Classic hand drawn. Look at that. That's really well done. Heroes Kills. I'm gonna put this on the fridge, Heroes. I like your little like anime graffiti kind of vibe there. That's pretty tight. I grew up on anime. Sleep tonight. Sean with the classic SF style tag. I like that. Maybe New York. I'm not sure. Optimus, Amuse 126. I got really confused when this guy showed up. I thought he was the old school Amuse. See, the game has changed, guys. The graffiti is not what it was 10 years ago or even 20 years ago. It's not the same thing, right? I got 12-year-old kids calling me, ordering $500 and $600 worth of paint, and doing professional murals, getting paid thousands of dollars, you know. And then you got guys beefing in train yards that are 30 years old, beating each other up over a train that they painted or a wall that they got. Oh shit, jabber. I'm telling you, old guys, the shit is changing around you. You better catch up. You better catch up to how it is. The young kids are taking over. And honestly, they don't care about your beefs. They just want to do art. It's like skateboarding now. It's just a rite of passage. Stop killing each other in LA, man. I grew up in the thick of all the violence of the early 90s, man. And I had kids in high school that I went with that, you know, kids that were like, I went to junior high with, and they murdered people over tags on walls. Literally the dumbest shit ever. And I'm so happy that part of the graffiti world is dying. It's a dying thing because it doesn't need to be that way. You're writing on walls you don't own. You don't own the walls you write on. So stop it. Anyways, oh, we got some classic ArtPrimo stickers in here. You guys will love those. All right, let's get these out of the way. It should be dried enough by now. Right, so we're on the next part of the video. Let's go ahead and get in here and start outlining this bad boy. I think acetone sales are going to go through the roof now. You probably feel pretty dumb for throwing out all those nibs, don't you? I do. I certainly feel dumb for doing it. I threw out so many nibs, not even realizing they could be saved. This is fantastic. I can't believe we actually saved this nib. It's writing perfect. I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry. Notice when I hit the black alcohol on the water, it just started to bleed. So let's let this dry for a few. I guess in the meantime, I can cut back with the gold in the middle, since we're waiting on that. All right, that step is done. Let's let that dry. We'll come back with the black and the turquoise, and I think we'll be done with this part of the video, and then we'll move on to the burner. All right, while that dries, we're gonna bring back tactical snacking. You're probably like, what is this abomination? You're gonna eat that? I mean, yeah, I am. What this is well, I was using it as a marker bleed initially, but what it is, it's an emergency C ration. This is what Seattle gives homeless people. This is what they give them. The stuff that you have to eat when you're like lost out at sea. Let's see what's in this thing. Wheat, flour. By the way, this is tactical snacking. Wheat, flour, soya, fat, sugars, malt, vitamin C, vitamin B, vitamin B6. So basically this is Soylent Green, I guess. Hopefully it's not actually made out of people, but it is made in Norway, a socialist country, so it might actually be made out of people, but that's okay. That's okay. Let me go ahead and crack this bad boy open. I'm just kidding, Norwegians. So I don't expect to get a bunch of emails from a bunch of Sorensens and Jansens and whatnot complaining about that, but it's just a joke. You guys can take a joke. All right, this is well wrapped in a foil wrapping. It looks like it comes with 9 individual bars. And again, this is what you would eat if you were lost out at sea, marooned on an island, whatnot, but this is what we feed people in this town. These are made in Norway, like I said, in Bergen. This lot was made in, it looks like 2012. It's good till 2017, so being that it's the current year, I think we have time to eat this. Looks like it's 278 calories, so I'll probably have to eat about 9 of these a day to stay fulfilled. But, oh, look at that. Wow. It's like an eraser, man. Oh, Lord. Can't believe I'm going to eat this. Oh, it smells like dog food. It's actually pretty good. Well, not that good. Honestly, it tastes like a shortbread cookie that's really stale. And it might be because it's actually stale. What's that thing, yo Australians, what's that thing that Mick said on Crocodile? Oh, tastes like shit, but you can live off it. So, I guess if I was lost at sea and had no choice, I would eat these. Given the choice, I'll probably go to McDonald's and get some chicken nuggets. Some tendies. Alright, that's enough for tactical snacking. Alright. right, dope. So that emergency ration left the nastiest layer of just grease on the tip of on the roof of my mouth. Oh my god, absolutely disgusting. Let's get this guy finished up here. I mean, it looks pretty much done, right? I mean, maybe we can just kind of clean up these little parts a little bit, you know, just give him a little bit of a, I mean, it looks fine, right? Let's drop some shines on this bad boy. Turn the lights on it, baby. And I'm using a Molotow Signal White, by the way. All right. I don't like the shine on that O, so I might redo it. I'm not sure yet. But we can go back with the gold and fix that. Alright, next step. Alright, so the battery just died. You probably missed all that banter that I was just doing, but basically what I'm doing is I'm lacing in the shines and just finishing this bad boy up. And then we'll be on to the next thing, which will be the full color burner on the mini subway or whatever that thing is called. I think that'll work. Just get rid of that altogether. I think I can live with that, guys. I think I can live with that. So we just got to fix the black right there. Fix the black. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. All right, so I think it's done for now. We're gonna move on to some other trains in a little bit. Maybe we'll make a whole collection of just pieces on trains, you know what I mean? Coming up in the next video, we're gonna do the Molotow full color burner on the subway cars, and then after that, we're gonna get into the scaletrains.com. They have these really great kits. We'll be painting on one of those as well too. Also, let's see, on Sunday, I'm gonna meet up with Roller Girl, and we're gonna go paint a wall together and talk about graffiti gossip and all the good things that are going on in the world with her. Rumor has it that she's an adult actress, so I didn't know that. That's interesting. So we'll talk a little bit about her trade and graffiti and what caused her to react in such a strange way. People are weird, aren't they? People are just really fucking weird. But she seems like a nice kid. But anyway, so we're gonna meet up. We'll go paint some walls. Maybe I'll teach her a couple tricks about graffiti. I actually already told her, I was like, hey, I want to show you some graffiti moves. She's like, I'm already an artist. And I'm like, come on. Millennials. Actually, no, she might be Generation Z. I don't know what she is. She's pretty young, though. All right, that's it for the video. I think the Destroy piece came out nicely. So let's close it up. And I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Hope you'd enjoyed it. I tried to keep the energy up, although I was a little bit tired today, so my apologies. But honestly, I've grown really fond of making these videos with you guys. I love hearing what you guys have to say, and it puts the social in social media, right? Anyway, so we're closing it up. Have a good night, guys. Enjoy. I'll check in with you next week. We got Roller Girl. We're gonna be doing pieces with her. Hopefully, we get some other people calling us up. I really want to do some call-ins. I think it's a lot of fun, and more painting, more trains, more graffiti, and ArtPrimo.com. Yay, graffiti.